Hello and welcome to D91 Labs Idea Series. The D91 Labs Idea Series is a platform that intends to highlight a diverse range of ideas and innovations that aim to move the needle further on financial inclusion. Through these interviews, we will bring to you researchers, founders, and practitioners who share our passion for improving the financial lives of the people of India with their thoughtful and innovative solutions. Our hope is that these interviews and stories will inspire the industry to build and serve the underserved and the not so well served people of India. I am Monami Dasgupta, Head of Research at D91 Labs, and I will be hosting the discussion today. Today we have with us Mahavir Chopra from Beshak.org. Mahavir is the founder and CEO at Beshak and has 17 years of experience in digital insurance distribution, much before it was called Insurtech. You can also find him on Twitter at the Mahavir as well. Welcome to the Idea Series, Mahavir.
Thank you for having me here, Monami. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. Coming to his organization, Beshak is an independent community platform which hopes to cut the crap from insurance and makes it simple, credible, and trustworthy for every customer. Through a curated community of financial advisors and industry experts, Beshak helps people find dependable answers and guidance for all things insurance so that you can make regret-free decisions for a lifetime. Their motto is to give 100% conflict-free advice, information, as well as guidance. Through this interview, we will be discussing some of the challenges in building and distributing suitable and tailored, unbiased insurance-related services. So, Mavi, my first question to you is that as a financial product, insurance is often infamous for being missold, unnecessarily bundled with other financial products, and often harmful for the end customers. This is mostly due to the misalignment of incentives between the insurance salesperson and the insurance company. I believe Beshak is trying to correct this pervasive market problem. Could you give us a brief on how Beshak works and why did you choose this problem statement?
Sure. So there are multiple insights that have, meaning I have around, my own personal experiences outside work and at work. I'd like to start with an experience, which is an outside experience. It's a small anecdote. It's not even an anecdote. It's actually something which is an experience any insurance professional will go through. Let's say you're going for a relative's wedding or you're going for a kind of a program where you are basically one of the members of that party or that program, and everybody introduces each other, right? Hey, I'm X and Y and I work here, I work there. As soon as someone says that I'm an insurance agent or I'm an insurance advisor or I'm an insurance salesman or I'm probably like a financial planner, people take 2 steps back, right? That's basically the experience that I have had personally also, when basically I used to talk about insurance to friends and family just to make them aware of what insurance, right? Insurance as a product has always been known that someone is going to chipkaw you that product, right? I'm using a very local language, but it's very important. It is the emotion of chipkaw cannot come by any other word. That someone is going to sell you a product and insurance wala aa gaya, that means he's going to sell you something. This would have been changed by digital distribution, right? Meaning, obviously, offline distributors would have to push because, or probably the training that they've been given, or the traditional, approach that they're taking would require them to probably push people to buy policies, right? This could have been changed with digital distribution. How? Basically by giving clear information to people, right? And letting them choose, right? But if you look at the platforms that exist today, most of the platforms, unfortunately, and it's not only the problem of the platform, but also customers, is largely sales driven and hence very, very spammy, right? They will call you multiple times. It's a genuine problem that people talk about, that I get too many calls when I put my number on a specific platform or even multiple platforms. That's a very standard problem that people talk about. So offline, there have always been distrust issues because it has always been a sales driven product and people have always known to have had an experience of buying a wrong product, right? They've been sold about a certain product which they bought because of certain promises and later on came to know that, okay, this was not the right product to buy. This has always happened. So that experience a lot of us have, right, as individuals. The online experience could have been very different. The online experience could have been more about knowledge, more about advisory, consulting, and making it very transparent. But unfortunately, that also today, as we speak, is very, very sales oriented and very spammy, right? And it's very hardcore sales, right? Although it could have been different because you're using an internet platform, so you could have made it very, very simple for people to make a decision and buy. With Beshak, we are basically trying to solve this problem, right? None of the platforms today, none of the intermediaries today are able to solve for trust because of two reasons, right? One is that the incentive models, like you just mentioned, are kind of in a way more focused on solving for insurers' problems than the customers' problems. So typically, high ticket size products and high margin products are basically sold more because that's what the insurer benefits from, right? The other side of the story is because you are regularly involved with the insurer as a partner, you also get influenced by that partner more than you are influenced by the customer because of that entire vicious cycle of incentives, right? So while I was working in all these multiple distribution companies, what I realized is that while being a distributor, it is going to become super difficult at scale to be able to solve for customers problems like transparency, trust, and getting them the right recommendations, giving them the right information. It's super difficult as a distributor. That's where we decided as Beshak to not go in that distribution route and take a basically a route of being a research platform which is driven by a community, right? So what we basically do is that we are not a distributor in any form. We don't have any relationships with any insurance companies, insurance platforms, A. And B, our focus hence becomes the customer, and we are able to give the customer what it wants in terms of information, research, recommendations, networking, talking to the right people, getting the right people, right? So insight number one, just to summarize, is that the trust is a major issue because of experiences in the past and experiences in the present. And the insight number two is to solve this. We feel that the way to solve this is to look at it from outside the industry and give information to the customer, which is really, really valuable for the customer and not influenced by anybody else. So that's how we basically came to the decision of making Beshak as a completely unbiased discovery platform that does not exist. If I can say that, it does not exist anywhere in the world today.
Got it. Really interesting to see the customer centricity of your model. Mahavir, my next question to you is, what is the kind of profile of your clients? What I mean is, who is served by Beshak? And can you tell me a little bit about why did you choose that specific cohort? And if you have any plans to expand beyond that cohort?
Right. So, there are two sets of customers that exist today in the digital space. I am currently catering to the digital space, and there are two sets of customers that we've seen. One is obviously a person who's in a hurry and who's just wanting to buy a paper, right? That person is probably trying to solve for taxation more than insurance. That's one kind of a customer. And then there is a good set of people who are actually looking at getting insurance right? These are basically people who are belonging to probably a family or a cohort where they are well educated, and they are people who look up and read reviews, read about things before they even choose a product, right? So we are basically catering to that part of the cohort where we see that there are a lot of people today who are looking at getting things right before they buy. So they want the right information. They want to do their own homework before they just rely on some salesperson to take a decision, right? So we are basically catering to those people. Usually they are people who are 30-year-old today's millennials who are exposed to in extreme amount of information in other industries, right? Like for example, in mutual funds today, you can get nth level of information about, if you want to, even for stocks, you can get nth level of information. So these are the same people who are saying, why is it not available for insurance? And so they dig deeper, they want to understand well, and they don't just don't want to take decisions because someone is saying in their family or some family friend is saying, or probably a person on a telecalling call center is saying. They won't buy that way. They want to basically make decisions which are research backed or backed by some information which they know and they have a logic behind that way. Typically 30-year-old, mostly they are from either metro or tier 1, tier 2 cities. But we've had people from tier 3 cities also. So that's been the background. Mostly people who have internet access and have done some kind of shopping online are the ones who are currently approaching us.
Got it. So it comes down to a little bit of digital savviness is required
Yes.
to access Beshak and even use it for their own benefit.
Or today, yes, yeah.
Got it. Mahavir, one of the features of the insurance model in India is that the distribution has much more weightage than the product itself. This
Right.
leads to a lot of skewing of incentives, like we just discussed, which is often against the well-being of the customer. Do you think that there is a role for insurance agents, aggregator platform, or separately advisory platforms like Beshak to solve this problem? And if that's the case, how do they do it?
Right. So, like I mentioned, that while I was a distributor, at scale, it was super difficult for me to be able to be objective and customer centric both. Right. There used to be a lot of areas where we would get influence because of the revenue model that we had. Right. So it's super difficult for a distributor today in insurance to be customer centric unless they are controlling their business in terms of number of transactions. So let's say if I decide today that I will become a distributor and I say that I will do only X number of transactions in a year, I will not scale beyond that, then probably you will be able to be customer centric, because then you are able to control what advice is going to the customer, right? For us, that person is basically these professional advisors that exist in the in various locations across the world, across the country, sorry. These are people who want to they want to sell based on reputation and relationship, and not based on just sales targets, right? So when you are basically looking at selling based on reputation and relationship, and you want to basically ensure that you have a longer relationship with that customer so that you are probably able to sell multiple products to that customer, then that kind of distributor is equipped to give the right kind of service to a customer. Anyone who's basically scaling beyond, let's say, control, in terms of not beyond control but beyond a certain number of people, like let's say I have had this experience myself, that when I had a call center in a distributor where we had only 20 people, the quality of the content and the quality of advice that we were giving were way different, because we had a personalized approach to even the people that we were training, those 20 people. As soon as it became 100, it became very difficult for us to maintain quality and also maintain that customer centricity. So amongst all these players, basically the individual distributors is the ones who are serious about their reputation and who are serious about having a good goodwill in the market and want to do a good job, are the ones who are best equipped to handle customers and help customers and be customer centric. The remaining, it is a tough call. It's not, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is a very tough call to be able to maintain revenue targets, have a large team, and still be customer centric. It is super difficult. That is where we thought about Beshak, where we said that we will not sell ourselves. We'll focus on research, and we'll build a community of professional advisors who are serious about their goodwill and the kind of products and services they sell, and bring all of this together.
Right. That makes me think, is that model scalable when a person wants to sell based on reputation and personal relationship? How scalable is that
model? It's a very good question that you are asking, Monami, but I am saying that if you're talking about whom are we solving for right now? Are we solving for the customer, or are we solving for the advisor? If you're asking for a professional advisor, whether that person is scalable, I think scale for a good professional advisor comes from providing the right advice, right? And if that person provides the right advice, he gets enough word of mouth to scale, and he also gets multiple cross-selling opportunities amongst their existing customers, right? As soon as you basically start selling based on distribution targets or based on incentives, you are basically in a way killing the proverbial goose, right? And basically trying to find that egg. It does not really scale even otherwise. Like, for example, today the largest of the aggregators in the country, their conversion percentage over leads is in the range of 3 to 5%. So more than 95% people end up not buying the products after contacting them. Why is that happening? Right? because you're not able to give them convincing content and research and advice, and b, the kind of conversations that are happening are not convincing, because it comes out clearly for today's customers. They're able to see through it that this is a sales talk and not a really a consultative or a value add to my knowledge that I already have. The customers that we speak to today, sometimes we have seen that they know equal or more than call center people, right? So they are not able to, they won't be able to buy from such kind of people, because that at scale is not solvable. The knowledge, the experience of claims is not solvable by a call center executive that way.
Got it. Very interesting insight, Mahavi. So this actually brings me to my last question. This is regarding our customers. So we often hear that one of the reasons people avoid buying or even renewing an insurance policy is because they've had a past negative experience with filing claims or getting reimbursements. Is that something Beshak is looking to address?
Yes, absolutely. So our entire orientation in terms of how we are thinking about this entire model is claims based, right?
Okay.
So whenever we are choosing advisors, and all the advisors listed on our platform are interviewed and verified for their claims infrastructure and their claim servicing, right? What we feel is that toll free numbers and call centers at scale are not able to give the personalized service that a customer is looking for when he is in trouble, right? And when he has a claims issue. What happens when you have a professional advisor who has a personal touch with you is that they are able to give you much more personalized service and take care of you when there is a situation like a claim getting rejected, or some kind of situation arising where probably some paper or information is not getting passed to the right people in the insurance company, right? So that's the core problem that we are solving. We are actually not solving for sales as much as we are solving for claims for customers. And we are telling people that when you're buying a policy, you have a choice of buying either from a person who's a salesman, or buying from a person who is actually a claims expert in and helping you buy the right policy so that he can help you at the time of claims. For example, a person who takes ownership for claims will not missell a policy to you, because if I am owning the claims experience for you, then I will not be able to sell you a wrong policy, because I am going to stand at that time with you and solve the claim problem also, right? So that's what we are doing as a overall model. We are solving for claims more than anything else that way. The second thing is we are also in the long run looking at training a lot of advisors to be able to manage claims and give them really rich knowledge about how to solve for claims remotely also, while they are probably, let's say, sitting in a different city and helping a customer. So that's something that we will definitely bring into picture.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. I hope that this really increases the adoption of suitable insurance for people of India. This brings us to the end of this episode of Idea Series. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, Mahavi. In a world of sales-driven, target-driven insurance industry, your company is doing a serious noble mission with a long-term plan of helping customers choose the correct and the most suitable insurance product for themselves as well as their households. And we wish the best to Beshak to continue to do good work.
Thank you for your kind words, Monami, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mahavir.
Thank you.